Alright, this demo is going to be about splines, helix, spirals, and isoparametric curves. So let's create a geometrical set for each one. I think just real quickly I'll click on this and pop on a new geometrical set, and I'll just do that 4 times. And then let's rename this. This one will be the spline. Wait, I did not mean to do that. Under feature properties, I'll rename that to spline. The helix. No, I'm going to do spiral first. Yeah. Now helix. And isoparametric curves. Alright, so in the spline, I'm going to make that the in-work object. And we're going to use the spline feature. And we will select on this plane. Sorry. You may have been used to on version 5, you could click or right click in here to activate the points. What you have to do now is find this icon on the bottom here of the pop-up window. That one's called add a line. So we're going to add that line, and now we can right click in this field and create a point. Let's do a point on this plane. We'll pick the YZ plane. Yeah, sure, why not? We'll select a point over here. Again, add another line. Create a point on this plane. Come up here. Let's add another line. Create another point. It defaults to plane because that's the last I used. I'll just reselect the YZ plane and we'll come over here like so. Let's add another line. Create another point on the same plane. Do something like this. Select OK. Terrific. We just created a spline. Hopefully, to make this better, more clear on the screen, I can jump on my properties. We'll beef up the line weight. That's cool. Let's go crazy. Go 4. Alright, so that's a simple spline. A spline, very commonly used to build the extrude surfaces. So I could go to extrude surface, use the spline as my profile to define. It's just like doing a pad, but it's creating a infinitely thin material in space representing a surface. Let's go 5 inches, reverse the direction, 5 inches, preview that, select OK. Alright, so there's my spline. I'm going to go ahead and hide it, and let's do spiral next. Make that the in-work object. Select wireframe and go back to my list. I'm going to skip helix for now. I'll do the spiral. Support right here. We can create a plane on the fly. off the YZ plane. I'll come 5 inches up front. So I'm now on X equals 5, or also known as station 5. We'll select OK. Now this is my support plane. Everything is 5 inches off the YZ plane. The center point, we can create a point on the fly using our common tools. So I right click to get to the create point. And let's try 3 horizontally and 3 vertically. We don't have to get too crazy. And we'll pick this plane since that's the plane I created. You can see it's in the coordinate of 3 inches in the Y directions, 3 inches in the Z direction, and 0 inches in the X direction because I'm working on that plane that's on the station 5. So I can do something like this. View, front view, which is your YZ plane. And we can create a spiral effect here. The direction I want to go, I'm going to go in the Y direction. See what happens. Starting radius, let's try 2 inches. That'd be 4. Let's go an inch. That'd be a 2-inch diameter. Let's hit preview. You see it starts here. End radius is 397, which is here. It's going to go all the way out to 2. Okay. Let's change this to 0.1 and hit preview. See what it looks like. Okay. Now it's asking for revolutions. Let's go from, instead of 1, let's do 10 and hit preview. Alright, so you see how it's going out to a 1-inch radius, and let's go out to 1.5 inches now just for kicks. So there's a radius at 1.5 inches, starting at 0.1. Okay, it's going along. It's starting here and going this direction. So let's hit counterclockwise. Or sorry, we're in counterclockwise. Actually, no. It starts here and it starts going counterclockwise. And it calculates the distance it's going to go by how many revolutions we have. And ending at 0.1. So just for kicks, we can go clockwise. You'll notice it starts here and it goes in this direction. So now we're going clockwise. Select counterclockwise. Preview that again. Let's try an angle of 15 and hit preview. You're barely going to see that, but what it's doing is it went 15 degrees from the 0, 0 position, 15 degrees down at a distance of 0.1. So that's what that does. Okay. I'd like to see you make the 4 helical spirals that we have in the assignment based on what we've learned here. I'm going to hide the spiral and pull up, make the helix my in-work object, and go back to my ISO view. And let's create, under wireframe, the helix. So we can do a helix. Again, it tells you can always hit F1 for more information. We'll select the helix. The pitch. Starting point. Okay, I'm going to start with my starting point. I'll come out by creating a point on a coordinate. 3 inches in X. My axis, I'll just use the Z vector. All right. Now, I'm going to go 10 revolutions again and hit preview. And we see it's going around 10 times at a pitch of 0.394. Let's change the pitch to 0.2 and hit preview. Sorry, that was 0.0394. So when I change my pitch to 0.2, it spreads it out every 360-degree revolution. Accidentally hit enter instead of preview. Every 360-degree revolution, it has gone up a pitch of 0.2, meaning from the bottom point here, right directly above it, it will be 0.2 height. And it should show you that in the pictures. Okay. Again, you have your option for clockwise and counterclockwise. And I want to, angle. Let's do an angle of 20 and hit preview. Watch what happens. Okay, we're going counterclockwise and it's going inward 20 degrees. If I change this to clockwise, okay, you see how it changes the direction. Change it back to counterclockwise. I've got inward versus outward. Let's select outward, and you notice that the spring now goes in the outward direction. All right. Your job is to list on a Word document what uses could we have for the spiral and helix commands. After that, we can go ahead and hide the helix and do one last one, is the isoparameter. Define the in-work object. Now I can make the spline visible. I could work on that stuff. All right. It's not a problem to work on it, but still be in a different geometrical set. In fact, that's often the case. So I'm using the spline as construction geometry to build isoparameter curves. I'll select the down arrow and choose isoparameters. Select this surface as my support. That's where I'm going to put it on. And then it's asking for a point. If I just put my cursor anywhere on the surface, it kind of jumps around back and forth. I used to be able to click a point and get both of them, but right now it seems like I can only get one of them when I'm clicking. If I select OK, it creates a isoparameter, as you see here. It's created an isoparameter. Whoops, no you don't see, I got to expand my tree. It created an isoparameter in the isoparametric curves geometrical set I created. Alright, so again, isoparameters, select the surface, put your cursor anywhere you want, and then I could grab this maybe and move it if I didn't locate it right. Select OK. So that's all fine and dandy, but what if I want to locate it somewhere specific? I could go to isoparametrics, use this as a support, grab a point, but I'm going to create a point, and the type of point I'm going to create is going to be on a curve, and I'll put it on this curve here, and I could go right down the middle if I want, or I could type in a distance. So let's say you want to go 3 inches. I'll hit tab. Okay, and it shows me it's going to go 3 inches. I should be able to Under point default, instead of using this corner, I can grab this point over here, inverse the arrow, and then if I wanted to go specifically a ½ inch from that end, I could go in 0.5, tab, select OK, direction. You saw it highlight for a second here. I didn't see it come in. It says it's there. Where's it at? Oh, put it right there. That's no good. Let's delete that. Under isoparametric curves, this is my support. I'm going to create a point on this line. I'm going to change my default to be on this end. Reverse the direction. And then key in something like 0.5. And then, I don't know why it's not letting me pick that curve. I'm not seeing it come up. It's like it's laying over here. Oh, let's see. I'll pick that. Let's put our cursor on that line and click. That's crazy. Okay, so that's new. So I had to pick on that actual edge to get that to come in. Select OK. Let's try that again. Under isoparametric, this is my support. We will create the point on the fly. It will be on this curve. And I want to set my default to come from this end. Reverse that arrow direction. Okay, and we will go a distance of 1 and hit tab. Yeah, that looks good. I can I want it to go this way here. I'm not seeing that. It's not working. I'm looking to get my red line. Oh, maybe I got to get on the curve more. There's that little blue line. Yikes. I had to get it right back on that curve and click on it again and select OK. Well, you might be wondering what I would want to do this for. Maybe you want to do corners and corner these two and a default radius of a ½ inch on that surface, and then it's got, oh, it's right here. It says next solution. You hit next solution until you get the one you want. You can say OK. All right, now the corner, what I would really like to do is turn the trims on. Okay, so again, I did a corner. On this surface, next solution. That's the solution I want, so I'll select OK. Can we corner this one and this one? On that surface, next solution. Problem here is I'm going to try and corner this, and it's all one thing. So that's the only drawback to doing that corner command for that. Cancel that. So I'm going to try something else. Oh boy, I'm looking for a trim command.